Okay, ladies and gents, welcome. A month ago-ish? I don't know. Maybe it was 3 weeks. Maybe it was 9 weeks. At some point in time, we'll have the information on screen. I uploaded a video where a player went for Relic victory, and it was in a tournament called Return or Reverse Pick. This is a game from that tournament featuring that same player on a map called The Wall. All right, really cool game here. We have big trees, so those of you big tree enjoyers can look at the big trees and really enjoy how accurate it looks to nature. But so cool aspect of this tournament is that you draft civilizations for the enemy. So you're giving civilizations to the enemy, which is quite cool. So that's how, well, this ended up with Vikings, and that's how Dan ended up with Vietnamese. And then also it's played on standard victory. However, it being played on standard victory very rarely leads to anything changing, because in competitive matches, well, you're not going to see a wonder victory. And I thought we would not see a relic victory, but then Dan MT tried that, and he may try this again. Again, highly recommend the previous game first to add some perspective to this guy. Really cool player from the UK, I believe. So the way the map works is you have a neutral map in the middle, and they're Gaia walls. And these walls do not belong to anyone, which is unlike any other map in Age of Empires 2. So you can see them, you can scout them, but they give no vision. You would have to break them down to get through. However, that's very different than normal arena, because if someone tries to break through your wall, you have a notification. You know clear as day that that's happening. You can be very sneaky about the walls, or even like siege tower over the walls. You could do a lot of different things with these walls. So players really need to keep an eye on the walls in the middle, right? And that's going to be tough, because you could even like sneak in through here and loop around, right? Really interesting map. On this map, you have 6 relics. There's 3 relics on each side, and you'll notice they're quite close to the walls. So in the previous video, which I've already referenced, Dan, he developed a whole build order where he could just try and get those relics as quickly as possible. And I think his opponent had Vietnamese in that game. I'm pretty sure his opponent had Vietnamese, and he had ended up having Celts. But let's see if he does it again, right? He's in the loser's bracket of this tourney, and he would be out of the tournament if he were to lose this series. I put the score up here, even though I didn't cover the first 2 games, because I just wanted to add the perspective. It's a best of 3, and this is in the 3rd game. You know, if you had anything out of the box, anything funky, sometimes players don't want to do that when they have faith in their abilities to play standard, let's say, or the 3rd and final game. So I think the Vietnamese are actually a really good civ against the Vikings. Overall, I think the Rattan Archer is a really hard unit for the Vikings to stop. Not sure what I would do if I were the Vikings. I remember a game where I was the Vikings, and I went berserks and skirms, and I just felt like Rattan Archers destroyed everything. And then when I tried Onager eventually, the Vietnamese actually had pretty decent stable units to be able to snipe the siege as well. What the Vikings do have is a really good economy, though. Getting wheelbarrow for free, getting handcart for free in Feudal Age and Castle Age is just a really nice bonus. And Bloodless is an arena player, so this is likely his home map. So this is somewhere he feels comfortable. He does not feel comfortable in more open maps. So again, not remembering or not seeing what those earlier games were. I assume Dan maybe won on a more open map, and then Bloodless won on a more closed map, and then here we end up on Z Wall. So that's pretty much it. I don't have much else to say until they're headed up towards the next stage. They're kind of looking for each other here. Oh, I should mention there's tigers, so you can't just send a villager out here and outpost without those tigers attacking you. So that discourages going for those outposts and sending villagers forward. There's a little bit more of a risk in doing so. At least right now. I really like this map. In fact, a tournament I really enjoyed was Valhalla, which is where I believe this was introduced. There was just so many closed maps, but they were all different. They were all unique. You have maps where you're kind of stuck in the middle, and you have the chop to the outside. Yeah, this map, I mean, there were like 4 or 5 which are really memorable for me. But so memorable, I don't remember the names of them. Dan, are you building a house somewhere, or did you forget it, buddy? Oh, boy. Okay, well, he forgot a house, and now he just cancels the bills and clicks up. I think he could still be okay here anyways, though. And wow, look at Bloodless. Bloodless has clicked up super quick here. He's trying to get Castle Age without mining any gold here. So this is a boom build. So it is time for T90 Math Edition. Now, class, how much wood do you get when you sell wood for the first time? Nobody? Okay, let me tell you. I actually don't even know. I think it's like 74 or 73. Anyways, it's 70 or more. I'm not a good teacher. But if you're not going to spend gold on anything, sometimes you could just do this. What some players will do as well is they'll actually sell stone. The first person to sell stone gets 91 gold. And so you could just collect 10 gold, take it back to the TC, takes you to 110. And then you get 91 on top of that, takes you to 201, and that's the gold for Castle Age. But here, he's going to sell wood, or food, I guess. Oh, shoot, I didn't actually have it on screen. Yeah, and he got, 70 on the dot. Wow, okay, see, I knew that. I know that you need to have 130 gold to achieve that. I apologize for not remembering the specifics there. But yeah, really cool, man. Really cool stuff. Market Blacksmith for Dan. Living the dream over here. And he's going for more of the standard approach. He's not rushing. He doesn't get any eco upgrades for free like the Vikings do. And he's probably also not as experienced on these closed maps anyways, right? Now, this is a smaller tourney. It's not like this, 10K, 15K tourney. There's a couple $100 on the prize pool, which is really good. And I just wonder the level of preparation. Like, for me, I actually, because it's been fun content, I'm, like, looking through games. I obviously cast some games, too, so it's really helpful for me. But I'm full-time Age of Empires. Bloodless, I know he's not full-time Age of Empires, so he might just be like, okay, let's play. This is Arena. My opponent 1-2-1 the previous round. Okay, that's cool. I have my information now. Let's start. Does he know? Did he do his homework on how his opponent's going to play? I don't know. I would assume he probably didn't. I would assume he just said, let's just play these games and have a good time. Which is what's cool about the tourney, is you have a lot of that. And I applaud them for the variety they've added as well with the map pool. So what's going to be for Bloodless? It's going to be a straight old boom. And he's a Castle Age at 1335. Drops the TC. Can afford to drop the next town center as well. I think it's questionable whether or not he's going to have the food eco to produce out of all of his TCs because of the lack of farms right now. So I could critique the build a little bit. But I'm sure he's going to sort it out. And over here, we have Dan. And Dan is ready to live his dream. All right? It's got to be a monastery, surely. It's got to be a siege workshop, surely, right? Would you boom Dan, or would you make the people happy? He's gonna make the people happy. And last time he tried this, he built the monastery on the back, okay? Like, I remember, even though I'm such an idiot, even though I knew going into the game, this is gonna be a Relic victory game, I saw the monastery placement, and I recall judging it, being like, why would you make your monastery there? It was somewhere around, like, here, right? So it wasn't completely in the back, but it was pretty far back. He's built it at a more realistic spot this time. And this is going to be nice to be able to get the relics, but still not be, like, right up against the wall. But, guys, the way Relic Victory works, the second your relics are in that monastery, the countdown starts. But if you pull any of those relics out and try and move the relics to a safer spot, like, let's say, make another monastery, it resets the countdown. It stops it, which obviously you don't want. So it's kind of tricky. Do you want the relics faster? Do you want to, get this quickly and have the monastery on the back? Or do you want to have it more towards the front? What he's done here is he's placed it more towards the front. We'll see if maybe he makes another monastery soon. I haven't actually seen this full game, by the way. I just know that the Madman is at it again, right? You might want to heal up these units, too. Because Bloodless right now, Bloodless has more villagers. He'll definitely have more resources collected. His eco is flying. He hasn't spent the 400 some wood that Dan has on these buildings. And now there's a mangonel, and he's going to kill the tiger first. Rip to the tiger. And now he's attacking the wall. Now, I want to know, does he hear this? Not really. He might have spotted the Vil in the house, though. But it's very likely he's not paying attention. Again, Scout's just going to attack here. Kill a tiger. I think Dan could probably assume at this point his opponent's not being aggressive. He's got 3 of the 6 relics. Now, last time he went into full defense mode and nearly almost stopped him. It was extremely close. But his double elim tourney, it was in the first round last time. Bloodless knows now, I think, by the way. Bloodless might spot that siege. And he's going to add his own siege workshop because he's thinking he's going to come siege my base. Oh no, not my villagers. Not really thinking about the possibility of those relics right now. So Dan, 45 eco. He's adding a scorpion now as well. He's going to have 2 monks on the field, plus his scout, plus his... Okay, the villager's dead. But he's going for relic victory, so we love him anyways. The Bloodless goes in there. Here's the Wololo. Well played there, Dan. And he's going to back away, knowing that that scout could get converted. And you've got this relic's like pretty far away. Dan doesn't know about them. He should know there's 6. But this whole strat's kind of ruined. Well, the strat itself isn't ruined, right? Getting 5 relics is great for your economy in the long term if you want to go that route. If you're going for relic victory, you might just be thinking right now, oh no, he has 1 of them. And then there's no countdown. He's scouting. He still hasn't seen it, and now he sees it. And he's probably like, oh my goodness. A good hit there with the attack round on the scout. So now the scout for Bloodless has to run home. And Bloodless has stonewalled, has house-walled. And he's just like, oh no, I really hope that I don't get siege pushed. This makes me so happy. This makes me so happy because you know Bloodless probably just forgot. Which, you know, maybe kind of ruins it too for some people. It'd be kind of better if you got one over on the guy and he knew. But I think Bloodless simply just forgot. Scout goes down there. That's good work from Bloodless. And now the scout goes down there from Bloodless, so he can't kill the monk, and that's an important moment. Now, if you're gonna do this, you might want to move the monastery to the back. You might want to make a new one now. But then you would need to take the trips too, right? So it's like, not only do you need to move the monastery back, which is a lot of wood, then you need to painstakingly click all the monks back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. With how Dan played it before, he just likes to get the relics. He wants to start the countdown as quick as possible. Time is his friend here, or I guess enemy, depending on how you look at it. And he's going to wall this opening, so only he can go through and the enemy cannot. And he's going to bring this relic into that monastery. Now, he has a much better economy than I think he did compared to his opponent in the first time we had seen this. So let's see how it goes. He's bringing villagers forward here. We have an extremely defensive castle for Bloodless. And I mean extremely. Because he's concerned. He thinks this isn't all in. Because he didn't add any of that nonsense. So he should know his economy's way ahead. Anyways, countdown's going to be on our screen here in a moment, folks. There it is. Relic countdown, 200 years. And Bloodless, he's going to have a target. And that target's going to be this castle when he makes it to the Imperial Age. Because that castle's going up. It's in a good spot to deny the golds. But a lot of players wouldn't place this type of castle because you're expecting your opponent to be an imp before you. And you're thinking that you could just lose this castle then. Okay, now it's 190 years. That countdown is fast. You see what I mean? I honestly think it is better to just do it here than to move the monastery back. Now, look at how much he's sending to stone right now. He's going to stone here. He already has stone here. Will he have to stone wall this? Vikings do not get... Vikings do not have bomber cannon available. But they have decent enough siege. They have siege ram, they have onager, they have trebs, obviously. Every civ has trebs. It's going to be archer opening for Bloodless. Resources collected here, guys. Again, Bloodless ahead, but I'd consider this respectable for Dan considering how much he did commit towards the relics. I don't think Bloodless knows about this castle yet. He's about to find out the hard way. Kind of unfortunate he doesn't see it, to be honest. Just Age of Empires things. What is that? And that's not something he would have wanted. But actually, he'll... Oh! Fletching came in! Fletching came in just in the last second there, and the mangonel goes down. We are approaching 3/4 of the way for Dan's Relic victory. That timer ticks quickly. It's kind of funny. I feel like Relic victory is really fast, and Wonder victory is completely unachievable. Because it takes so long to make a Wonder. And it's so expensive. Okay, Bloodless makes it to Imp. Bloodless trying to use his army in some way. And he sees that there's walls here. Obviously, first thing he's going to do is make a trap. He's also getting capped ram to ram this down. Everything here, this is all on an island. And it's not going to last very long, right? This is all exposed. There's no support to this whatsoever. And we just have massive stone walls. We have the fortified wall tech for Dan. And he's hoping for crazy defense. Now, I think if he goes chemistry, that chemistry, and by the way, Bloodless can't get Bodkin Bracer because his blacksmith just got taken out, so that slows him down. But if he gets chemistry first thing and he can defend with cannons, that gives him his best chance. And it seems like he knows now. He's like, okay, I've got the 2 siege workshops. Let's see. Now, this castle you could repair to just buy more time. I think it's worth it. You're probably going to lose all this. The concern is he's trying to go rats and archers, and you're not going to have the building to make rats and archers now. You're not going to have more castles, really, because well, he is making one, but the point is he's investing a lot of stone. He's not going to have the 3 or 4 castle setup that he wants, and Siege Ram is just completed here for Bloodless. The choo-choo has begun with 130 years. We are officially on with a countdown. Let's go. The villagers are going in with the rams like your extreme AI would. And they're just repairing the rams. But Bloodless may be doing this right now because he's really concerned that he could lose this series and lose the game to a Relic victory. I'm sure all of his friends will bring that up for a couple weeks. Castle's bought time. Castle will go down. Castle's a goner. And with that, Rats and Archer numbers very low. So while Rats and Archers are very good against other Archers, not going to last. Arbalest will shred them. All of this will die. Bloodless, I have faith in his micro. Should be pretty easy micro for him. Even against the mangonels because you outrange them. There he goes. Dodges. Beautiful. And this is all expected, right? Another dodge. Yep. Well done. Panic time now for Dan. He's starting to make cannons. We are at 110 years. And it seems like all he's going to make is bombard cannons. Now, I want to look at Dan's vision. So I guess the way he's walled it, going through the sides and the sneak wouldn't work for Bloodless. I was thinking initially maybe Bloodless could get in an area that Dan didn't see. But, I mean, this outpost over here is really nice. I like to see maybe more vision over here. You do kind of see, though, that the Rams are just going right through the middle. So, let's find out. We have a castle from Bloodless. He wants castle to give him more trebs, and he wants it in a forward position because he needs to push. That monastery is not far away. If you lose this castle and units break in, the Relic victory could fail. He's going to go for his own onager. Notice he's not even going for Rats and Archers now. He's playing full defense. And man, I gotta say, as much as I understood why the castle was placed like this, I don't think Bloodless is going to be very happy with it. He goes for Bugs Vigard, new tech for the Vikings, gives you +1 attack on your archers. And he's going to try and go through this way. This is what I mentioned, though. He doesn't have vision here. This could really catch up with him. He's like, okay, I'm good. Where's he going? I'm good. I think I'll outpost here in a second, right? I'm doing good. I'm doing it. Mom's going to be so proud. She's not going to be proud of the fact that I killed my own villager earlier. And I really hope T90 doesn't see this and brings that up. But, you know, apart from those things, I'm feeling pretty good. And now he sees it. He's like, oh, no, more walls needed. Lots of siege workshops for Bloodless. He's thinking about massing rams on this side, too. And he's... I don't think Trebs do that much against rams, but the bomber cannons do. It was kind of funny. So he has stymied that attack. It's at 69 years, guys. Bloodless needs a Omega push. And where's the weak point in this wall here for Dan? It seems like he's got 2 layers everywhere. I actually feel like the gates could be the weak point. But do you really want to run right into that death trap? I don't know. Oh! He realizes that there's trees here and that the onage could do it. Bloodless is going to onage the trees. Bloodless, onage the trees. Bloodless, the trees. The trees, Bloodless, the tree. Okay, well. But he didn't onage the trees. The rams could have maybe come through there. There wasn't any support for the rams. Maybe that thought didn't enter Bloodless's mind. We're now at 50 years. We've just got full siege for Dan. He's got a couple routes and archers. Shout out to those guys, but they could not be more useless right now to the cause. Now, what we have missed is that Dan actually has better economy than his opponent right now. And the 6 relics, while they are here for relic victory, also are bringing you gold. All that's super nice here, but look at all the resource income for Bloodless. It's not like he doesn't have enough. And here he goes with the rams. He's going to town, and, well, he's got to back away again. He feels completely helpless. Got so much army. So he tries there. Dan focused on it. And Dan's now looking here, and now the onaging is actually happening. The Rams trying to break through here while simultaneously trying to break through here. I like how he's just hitting in different spots. It's good. He's also got Trebs and Rams that are going to head in towards these gates. Bloodless is probably so frustrated right now. He's like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Fight me, bro. Fight me, you coward. But he can't really seem to make it. It maybe feels like at this moment his best chance, because he's got to YOLO it, is maybe going on the right side with his 60 army now. And he's got full upgrades. But good luck getting past the walls. Dan is barely venturing past the walls. There's no need to here. And you also can't counter this by just adding a wonder, because the wonder takes forever to build. And the wonder counter is also longer than the years on relics. Feels like... It's really funny to me how ridiculous the discrepancy is there. But anyways, big battles. Lots of bodies hitting the floor right now. Lots of siege weapons hitting the floor, but you're still just ramming down neutral walls. It's 10 years. Bloodless hasn't been able to make that final jump towards the relics. And while many might question the monastery choice, and maybe it brought a little bit too much risk in here for Dan, it feels like it worked quite well. The trebuchets have kind of split up here to try and hit random spots. And Bloodless is just looking at his screen right now like, you've got to be kidding me. Because I can kill these units, or I can lose all my units. It doesn't matter. If I don't take out that monastery, I lose the game. And that's the game. So, here's the deal. There's a game I didn't show you that was before the other game that I already showed people, which was the one prior to this, where Dan had done this as well. So, I don't know where he is in this bracket. I think he's probably out at this point. He lost to somebody. But he just consistently went for relic victory on this map. Like, this happened every single time he played on this map, if I'm not mistaken. I love it. I think that's pretty cool. You know, Bloodless, honestly, he didn't have the tools to do it. Dan played it perfectly. He went for fortified wall, he kept vision on the sides, and he went for bomber cannons. I think when the role is reversed, it gets crazier. The first time you had Dan doing it, he didn't have bomber cannons, and Nilly did. And then bomber cannons were really, you know, showing some potential. But If you don't have bomber cannons and you have to get to that monastery, I just don't see how you do it, honestly. Siege Rams isn't going to cut it either. So, GG. I think Bloodless gave it a good shout, but clearly he was punished for not really knowing that that was a potential. I think if you know that Relic victory is possible, you just got to have a monastery there yourself, right? The fact that like players are just like, oh, let's forget about the relics, just tells me that they don't think that that timer is going to be there. Because there's a logic in normal arena where you just give up the relics so you can have a greater economy. Players normally build their monastery on the front, and then you just push them. But there's no timer on it, right? Come to think of it, though, let's just say it's this map and it's not Relic victory. Are the stone walls still good? I think the additional fortified walls, if you have the relics and there's no timer, is also still really good. Again, no timer. You've got cannons behind walls. I don't see how Vikings push it. And then you could make gates and you could just like raid them, right? Like run in because they're not walled. Like that would be really strong. Anyways, good game. Hope people enjoyed it. Dan's a madman. Well played. And again, I'm not really entirely sure what he did in the next rounds. I'm going to look on my other screen. Okay, unfortunately, it looks like after this series, he moved on. He lost 2-0. His home map was the wall, but he didn't get to play it. Or actually, one of the upcoming maps would have been the wall, but it never got played because it was a best of 3 and he lost 2-0. So that's where the story ended for Dan. Sad times. Still an impressive game, and I hope people enjoyed the vid.